Ukraine is where the full power of military equipment can be witnessed, because soon there will be new M1128 Stryker vehicles arriving at the border, courtesy of the U.S. The generosity of Ukraine's foreign allies is truly astounding. They've sent artillery systems, air defense complexes, tanks, airplanes, and helicopters. But how much does all this aid cost the U.S.? According to our calculations, since the beginning of the war, America has allocated over $28 billion for the transfer of military equipment and other aid. It's an incredible amount. Now, it may seem like this foreign aid is taking all the money from allies and ordinary taxpayers. But is it really? For example, the United States has approved a defense budget for 2023 in the amount of $858 billion, 30 times more than the aid that's been provided. And that's just the military finances. Nevertheless, it's much more advantageous for the U.S. to confront its primary adversary at the hands of the Ukrainians using just a small portion of their military budget. Plus, they're helping tremendously in Ukrainians' fight to repel their aggressors. Who knows how far the enemy would have penetrated if not for all the equipment that's been transferred. Speaking of which, a massive new shipment of military aid, including a variety of combat technology, has already arrived at Ukraine's border, including the M1128 Stryker. This beautiful machine featuring a 105mm cannon has already proven itself in the country's defense, as a limited batch of these systems was previously transferred to Ukraine to better understand their combat operability in the local climate and geographical conditions, and they passed with flying colors. It happened in the Bakhmut region between the villages of Opatny and Ivangrad, where the enemy attempted another attack. Most Allied troops had already withdrawn far from the front line at that time, but a small defensive squad remained on site, consisting of infantry, a large-caliber howitzer, and one Stryker. Once the area looked clear, the enemy suddenly launched an offensive and even came close to Ukrainian positions, but the invaders had no idea what awaited them. The Stryker entered the fray, pummeling the enemy with steel shells from a mile away. Its high speed allowed it to quickly change positions and attack from the most unexpected angles. Then the Stryker went on the offensive, pushing the enemy further and further back until a rescue brigade arrived behind the surviving soldiers.
They could take a beating and just keep going. And that's one of the biggest things I like, is because you could just shoot it to death and it'll keep going for you.
This is a good example of how a seemingly simple infantry combat vehicle can independently foil an enemy's plans and earn great fame for itself. I think it'd be interesting to find out more details about this legendary weapon. The M1128 is a combat vehicle designed for infantry fire support, as well as for destroying bunkers, light armored vehicles, and fortified enemy positions. One of the Stryker's defining characteristics is its speed, reaching nearly 62 miles per hour on the highway. Plus, with a fuel capacity of 57 gallons, it can travel 330 miles on a single tank. As a bonus, the Stryker is fairly quiet, even when traveling at full speed.
Stryker, as proven in combat, is a very quiet vehicle.
Its armament includes a 105mm tank gun with a muzzle brake and automatic loading. This steel beast can even deliver deadly blows to modern tanks, something 90% of infantry vehicles can't do.
So it's a little different feel. Has a more kickback when you fire the main gun.
The Stryker's hull is made of steel armor plates reinforced by ceramic, which protects the vehicle from machine gun fire and shrapnel. But of course, this level of protection isn't enough, so an additional slat armor protection kit's available, which protects the vehicle from RPGs and tank hits.
Several months later, I was in a Stryker. The Stryker in front of me took 2 artillery rounds that were cemented in the sidewalk.
High mobility, good firepower, and sufficient protection. What more could you ask for? However, a single Stryker isn't enough to turn the tide of a battle. Sweden realized this, so they sent over 40 CV-90 armored personnel carriers to Ukraine. This combat vehicle is similar in many ways to the Stryker. For example, it has a 105mm gun, but is also more armored and less agile. This beast is protected on all sides by a high-class composite armor that can withstand RPG shots, tank strikes, and high-explosive rounds. Additionally, it's equipped with 4 grenade launchers for firing smoke grenades, allowing it to hide from the enemy in critical moments.
And you also have a lot of storage rooms across the whole vehicle.
All of this goodness in one package is quite heavy, a whole 30 tons to be exact, so it's not quite as fast at just 43 miles per hour. However, it makes for a great infantry support vehicle, so in combination with the Stryker, the two machines can work wonders.
Means that we can work together, both the vehicles and the infantry.
But a successful defense requires powerful long-range weapons in addition to armored vehicles. And who should come to the rescue to supply those weapons? None other than Finland. Not only is the country assisting, but it also announced the largest package of European military aid in history, worth 400 million euros. Government officials prefer not to disclose what exactly they'll be providing, but it's safe to assume that the Ukrainian military will soon be able to strike the enemy with a M270 MLRS mobile rocket launcher. This American-made artillery platform is designed to destroy everything at any time of day in any weather. That's right, it isn't afraid of snow, rain, or wind. It fires a variety of high-speed projectiles, which means it can adapt to any situation on the battlefield. In addition to unguided shells and cluster munitions, there's also the ATACMS Block Unitary. This highly accurate and powerful weapon weighs over 400 pounds. Its strength lies in its strike range of up to 50 miles. There's also the unique AT-2 rocket that can pepper the battlefield with 500 anti-tank mines. How's that for an impassable barrier? The M270 MLRS is also notable for its quick response to threats. It takes just 60 seconds to fire a full magazine, and preparing to fire takes just 2 minutes.
The system is fairly easy to load after you're done with the fire mission.
Even with all this, the vehicle itself isn't lacking for cool technical features. The launcher's mounted on the legendary M2 Bradley, which has a maximum speed of 40 miles per hour on the highway and a 310-mile operational range. The cabin's protected from machine gun fire and shrapnel thanks to its aluminum alloy armor, and the bulletproof glass is covered with steel shutters during firing. The result is a fast, powerful, long-range armored vehicle. It has virtually no drawbacks, right? Of course not, as long as we don't count its utter helplessness against aerial attacks, as the M270 has no means of intercepting them. But that shouldn't matter, because Germany's also joining in to support Ukraine and is preparing to transfer the Iris-T SLM, the country's most cutting-edge anti-aircraft defense system. It's designed to destroy airplanes, helicopters, unmanned aerial vehicles, cruise and ballistic missiles, basically anything that flies. Supposedly, it can even shoot down meteorites as its attack range reaches up to 17 miles into the sky.
It's more of an artillery sniper weapon, where we would take out what we call a high-priority target, maybe some sort of a higher-level command and control node.
Unlike similar vehicles that require cover and separate reconnaissance units, this is a completely self-sufficient complex. The Iris can single-handedly take a position, track down a target hundreds of miles away, and destroy it with one precise strike. It can also provide 360-degree defense without changing its position.
Artillery is one of the staple backbones. If the infantry doesn't have rounds to protect them down there, then they just get annihilated after time. There's only so much they can do, and what we provide is that rear support.
Structurally, the complex consists of 3 main elements: a missile launcher, a control vehicle, and a radar station. That last one's the highlight. The current generation of the Iris-T SLM is equipped with 2 radars, one of which operates in a completely radiation-free stealth mode to keep the system hidden, while the second provides omnidirectional 3D tracking of more than 180 targets at a distance of up to 155 miles. The data is then transmitted to the operator's monitor, and it looks like a computer game. Before the enemy even appears in the complex's field of vision, powerful Iris-T guided missiles are already on their way. They can hit targets at an altitude of 12.5 miles. That's higher than modern fighters can even fly. Even some low-flying satellites are in the strike zone, so conventional combat drones certainly don't pose a threat.
Today, a well-trained gun crew can hit its target with certainty nearly 15 miles away, 4 times a minute.
The Iris can defend against anything, a claim that'll be put to the test in Ukraine very soon, where it could make an excellent partner for the Strykers and M270 MRLS systems. All of this equipment together could radically change the course of the conflict and allow the Ukrainians to go on the offensive. With that, this video's come to an end. Thanks for watching. Please consider leaving a like and a comment. It really motivates us to improve our content for each new video. Have a great day, everyone, and see you soon.